great to see something put up, a student putting up a video for review. Craig, great job on Daydream Believer. Really fun song to play, and I'm glad to see somebody jumped on this like a year after it went up. I don't know when, I can't remember now when this went up, but you have some great things going on in here. Great feel for the rhythm and it's moving along. There are a couple little spots that I have some suggestions for though. Let's see. The beginning's very good, with the offbeat bass notes. Anyway, once you get into the melody, this little part, the timing is a little dicey, and it's because you're playing all three of those notes with your thumb. What we have there is two B's and then an open G. And in the second half of the tablature, I have the two B's played. I gave, I think, options in there. Either play the two B's on the same string, or play the first one on the third string and the second one on the second string. And then the melody note G, it comes in on the and of beat 4. And so in order to make that really work, you can't really hit that with your thumb. You have to get that on the and. So work on the timing there. If we put those two B's right on beats 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have to get that G on the and then the G and the bass on 1. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay to play those two with your thumb, but play the next G with your finger. 3, 4, and 1. And just work on that. Let me get that bass note better tuned. Maybe. Now, the other possibility is to play the second B open, and then I would use a finger for it. I'd use my middle finger for that, and then my index finger for the open G. You could also change the rhythm of those to an eighth, and on 3, this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Anyway, work on that. This is all good? Ah. That hammer-on in the second half of the measure of E minor. The hammer-on is from the and of 2 on to 3. And what you're doing right there is pinching the bass note with the G and then hammering onto the A. So that makes that bass note land on the and of 2, which is okay if it's intentional. If it's not, make sure you can do this. So that the hammer-on, you land the bass note with the A, but there are times you want to do exactly what you did. Rushing the bass note to be to syncopate it a little bit. So if that was intentional, great, but make sure you can do it both ways. Okay. What happens after that? Same thing with that little pickup there. Now right here, that was all really good, but the E minor and the D just before that at the end of the verse, you're letting go of that E in the bass, and that's a little bit tricky. Is that an E minor? I guess it's actually E. Now I'm lost as to where I am, but don't worry about that. Figure out a way that that E in the bass rings over the second bass note, and also the D in the bass that happens at the 5th fret. Both of those were getting cut off. Which leads me into, and so anyway, work on the bass notes. Now, work on sustaining those two bass notes as half notes, not just as quarter notes. And the last thing is, in the chorus, the bass gets a lot of bass notes you ended up playing with a finger. So your thumb didn't play 4 bass notes in every measure. Try to get that, take another look at it, and make sure that your thumb is playing something on every single beat. So the bass in the chorus gets a little sketchy, but the overall feel is just great. You know, that's what like I said at the beginning, at the beginning of this. It's flowing pretty nicely. The melody's coming out pretty well, and it's really just the bass notes that need a little bit of work to be a little bit tighter. So check the fingering that I have in the lesson. Go back and watch the lesson again, and make sure that your left hand is playing all those bass notes with the right fingers so that they can stay down while you get to the bass note that follows it. And in general, in finger picking, even though we write the bass notes as quarter notes, the first and third bass notes really need to ring as half notes. So I might talk about this in some lessons, but the bass notes are not really 4 quarter notes where each one stops when the next one happens. The bass is really, you know, a pair of half notes with an alternate bass note that comes in on the off beats. The off beats being beats 2 and 4. So, okay, I hope that helps, and would like to see this again in a couple weeks, or you know, whenever you can get to it. And I hope next week you'll think about, or next year you'll think about joining us at camp. We will. This is the sneak previews to next year's camps for anybody watching. Is we are going to schedule it for the same weekend, Labor Day weekend, but this time it will be Wednesday through Sunday again. So, heads up on 2017 IGC. Hope to see you there.